Hello, my name is Kence Anderson. I'm the CEO of Composabl. When I think about how I got to this point and how we ended up founding this company, I first started thinking about my dad. My dad was a teacher, and he was actually born in 1916. I grew up in New England, outside of Boston and in Maine, and I was always, I think they call it code switching now, translating between different perspectives. I was one of very few African Americans, and I was certainly didn't feel like I belonged in the Caucasian group, but I didn't really feel like I belonged in the African American group either. And having a dad that was so experienced and quite a bit older, I had to develop different perspectives too. I felt very comfortable around older people, maybe sometimes not even as comfortable around my peers. And that kind of followed me at different times in my career, working at startups. I studied engineering, but then started my career at IBM and then moved on to working at startups. And I felt the same way about, I'm not exactly a marketer. I'm too technical to be, comfortable exactly with the salespeople. And then the technical people thought I was really salesy. So I was always kind of this bridge or this translator. And it took me a while to realize that was actually my superpower, is the ability to sit in one place and to understand both perspectives and translate between them. That's kind of what I do with technology. And then if I trace that back to my sensibilities of a teacher that I got from my dad, that's actually kind of what I do in the technology realm is capture and codify and explain complex technologies, hopefully in language that people can really understand. And when it comes to AI, I found teaching to be extremely interesting because I feel like, well, if machines can learn, then you should probably teach them something, right? So I joined a startup called Bonsai back in 2017, and they had this vision of what they called machine teaching. And it really was about this thought that you can democratize or make AI accessible to orders of magnitude more people if you translate it from the paradigm of coding to the paradigm of teaching. And I do really believe in that. I believe that we're moving into a different era of technology. When it comes to machine intelligence or artificial intelligence, the first incarnation of it was very attached to the machine itself. So if you think about like an IBM voting machine or the Turing Enigma machine, the intelligence is baked into the actual machine itself. And then we entered the age of software, and Alan Turing taught us that if you have a machine that can accept a program, that can accept a set of instructions, then you can alter the intelligence or give it different intelligence characteristics by just giving it a different program. And that's what software is. But I do actually think we're moving into a different paradigm where now that this software, these software programs can learn, then you should be able to teach them. And teaching is something that doesn't require advanced coding skills or a PhD in machine learning or experience building AI algorithms. And so that's kind of how I first got into this idea of autonomy and autonomous machines and machines that can make sophisticated decisions. And I got the opportunity to travel the whole world. I mean, most of the continents in the world, going to every kind of factory and mine and warehouse and steel mill. I mean, I've been to places where there's barely a Denny's, in the whole town, to, mines in Australia, to, oil refineries and all these different places. What I was trying to do is talk to yes, executives, but also people that actually operate these manufacturing and logistics processes and try to understand, well, how can we build AI that is useful to improving your operations? And I found a couple things that were really, really related to teaching. I was really surprised when I would interview these operators, these people that take 10, 20, 30 years to become an expert at doing something very valuable, making the things that we use every day, like Cheetos and soap and, and steel and all these things. And I thought that they would be kind of apprenticing, as they were doing this or imitating each other, or that they'd be looking at a lot of like procedures and looking at manuals about how to do things, but that's not how they did it. They actually taught each other and learned strategies. And it's kind of like chess. They would say, oh, well, when the situation is like this, you should use this strategy. When the situation is like this, you should use this strategy. And actually, I'm not a chess player, but I have friends that are, and I got really into chess because of the strategy. And I started reading about all the different strategies in chess, and I started seeing how they relate to each other, and it helped me put together thoughts about how skills work together. And I started doing AI research. I hesitate to say this, but I started doing AI research. But I did the research from the perspective of social sciences, and I studied how humans teach each other, and I studied how humans become expert at certain tasks and how humans learn skills. And I realized that there was a lot of ways that you can apply some of those same, frankly, teaching techniques to artificial intelligence. And flash forward a little bit, that's really how Composabl came about. I saw some really advanced AI that was completely inaccessible to most of the people that make and move things in our economy every day. So there's 100 million, what I call engineers of industry, that are making and moving things in our economy. These are people like mechanical engineers and process engineers, industrial engineers, chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers. That's about 10 times more than all the software engineers on the planet. And I thought, well, is there a way for us to use these social science concepts of how skills evolve and how skills become expertise as people practice? And is there a way that we could frame this in terms of teaching, that an engineer who is very technical and very mathematical, they're just not a software programmer, could manipulate and access some of this advanced AI? And I think the answer is yes. And the reason why we call the company Composabl was because engineers build things from blocks. They build things from these modular pieces, and every single complex system in the world, whether it's a factory or a rocket ship or a bulldozer, is fit together from these complex pieces. And I'm hoping, and we're striving to apply the engineering mindset, that same mindset, that you can take something complex and deconstruct it into pieces and make AI work that way too. There's actually some really interesting benefits to doing that. When you engineer systems, they're easier to test and they're easier to validate and they're more explainable. You can pull them apart and do those exploded view diagrams and understand what's happening. And I think AI can be the same way. And so the idea with Composabl is, can we provide a platform? Can we provide some intelligent building blocks that your mechanical engineer in a factory can use, to build something really valuable and really, really intelligent? And at Bonsai and at Microsoft afterwards, and now at Composabl, I got to work with a lot of people to design a lot of these kind of modular autonomous systems that made some really high value decisions, maybe over 200 of them. And the goal here is, what I'm hoping to accomplish is that there'll be millions of people that learn the machine teaching methodology and can use hopefully our platform, but maybe some other platform, but hopefully our platform, to automate and augment and extend what they can do. I've worked with people that have gotten 2 promotions over the AI that we've built together. It's really about empowering. I don't really believe in this AI is going to replace people. The internet didn't replace people, the database didn't replace people, the cloud didn't replace people. It's technology that's useful for people, and hopefully it will make engineers a lot more productive. It'll store and capture really high value skills that could go extinct. There's in the United States a manufacturing revolution, bringing manufacturing back to the United States, and maybe this will be a part of it. So those are some of the things we're thinking about as we're building Composabl. I think really at the end of the day, it's really about empowering engineers to build intelligent systems.